every year around this time, I come on here and I reveal to you guys who my dark horse Super Bowl contender is heading into the season. Last season, it was the Houston Texans. And this year, my dark horse Super Bowl contender is once again the Houston Texans. Last year, I don't believe I was wrong when I picked the Texans to be a Super Bowl contender. I was just early because the offensive line was nowhere as good as what it needed to be to compete for a Lombardi. CJ Stroud took somewhat of a step back, even though it wasn't really all his fault. Bobby Sloyd was just a completely awful offensive coordinator. And the Texans just were good enough to make it to the playoffs, win a game. And then once they played Kansas City, they just had no shot. And going into this year, the Texans are better equipped to compete for a Super Bowl than what they have been their first couple of years under the DeMeco Ryans. They have a revamped offensive line, which you don't need this offensive line to be great. We've seen Joe Burrow take the Cincinnati Bengals to the Super Bowl with a bunch of backup offensive linemen. CJ Stroud is good enough to overcome inept offensive line play as long as it isn't as bad as what we saw it look last year. All this offensive line needs to be is decent. And if the Texans get that, this is definitely a Super Bowl contender. Look at how good CJ Stroud has been in spite of the offensive line issues that he has had to overcome. The wide receiver position had a bunch of injuries last year. Nico Collins missed time. Tank Dell had his season cut short because Bobby Sloyd thought it was smart to call a play when you had two receivers running in the same area, and the dude ended up getting Tank Dell's leg snapped in half. Now that you have a new OC and you have an improved crop of wide receivers, CJ Stroud is going to have a better year throwing the football than what he did last season. You still got Joe Mixon. You bring in Nick Chubb. We'll see how he'll look, even though he's a far cry of what he was in his prime. Let's see if the Texans can get some juice out of him. But what has me so excited about the Texans' Super Bowl chances this year is how downright disgusting this defense is going to be. They have the second best secondary in the NFL behind the Baltimore Ravens. You bring in C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who's an absolute dog. You got Jalen Petrie coming back fully healthy. Oh, my God. If you call yourself a football fan, you should know about Jalen Petrie. This dude is an absolute superstar. He's one of the better slot star defensive backs in the league. He's decent in coverage. He's really good against the run. And the dude is an absolute hammer when it comes to laying that lumber down on anybody that's in his proximity. When he goes to lay a tackle on you, he's trying to take your fucking head off your shoulders. You got Kamari Lassiter, Kalen Bullock, who both had really phenomenal rookie seasons last year. This is an absolute downright scary secondary. And let's not forget about Derek Stingley, who has taken over the title as the best cornerback in the league. I get it that Patrick Tan won Defensive Player of the Year last year, but he's no Derek Stingley. Derek Stingley is absolutely the number one corner in the league right now until proven otherwise. The Texans, with how easy of a division that they play in, they should get a home field game come wild card weekend, and possibly, if they're good enough and they live up to the amount of talent that they have going into this year on paper, they could possibly be in contention to get the 1 seed. And I believe that they will be that good this year. They have improved all of their biggest weaknesses from last year. You're just stacked everywhere. And with the amount of star power that they have from their best players, Derek Stingley, Will Anderson, who could be a potential All-Pro this year. He had to play through some injuries last season. CJ Stroud has MVP potential. We know that DeMeco Ryans is one of the best up-and-coming coaches. Everything that the Texans have been building these past couple of years, I think it's finally going to come together this year and they make that big playoff run this year. I'm not saying that they will win it all, but this is probably the team that they have put on the field that is best equipped to do so.